Ignite. CEDH.
Welcome to Ignite CEDH, where we spark the conversation. My name is Joseph.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Kevin.
This week we're going to talk about some events and basically how to start getting into CEDH. A lot of the questions around right now are, hey, I want to play, but I don't know how to start. So we're going to go over that, but first, do we have any announcements going on? So, how was your weekend, Andrew?
It was good. All three of us went to a tournament. None of us won it or anything, but we did good. We had some good games. I ended up actually walking away using some store credit and getting a guy's cradle. So I added that to my kit and deck, and I was very happy about it. It made my weekend.
Is Canon like proxy free now then?
It is proxy free, except I don't have a transmute artifact, and I just don't really even run it in there because I just keep it all legit for my locals. I play it sometimes.
Nice,
CDH.
yeah.
So
Nice.
that was big because I wasn't on crop rotation before, and I wasn't on emergent zone because I could crop rotate for emergent zone and do the instant speed wins. Now that I have Cradle, I can now always crop rotation for Cradle 99% of the time, or the odd time I want to crop rotate to emergent zone on someone's turn to win. So it's pretty. I'm really happy about that.
Fair enough. Kevin, how did your weekend go?
Yeah, I was on Gwenum Turbo. Won the first game. One opponent used like a bounce spell to bounce another opponent's thing when he should have bounced Gwenum, and then the other opponent didn't know if it was a turbo list or not, and it is. So he didn't remove it. I made my attack, gained my life, and stormed off and won with my deck.
What does Gwenum do?
Gwenum has 5 mana, 3 and 2 black, Death Touch, Lifelink. When you attack with Gwenum, you may look at the top, for the rest of the turn, you may look at the top card of your library, and you may cast it. If you do, you pay life equal to its mana value instead of its mana cost. It's a 4/4.
And if Gwenum dies, you continue that effect regardless.
You do, yeah. So that's the advantage it has over
Bullets the Citadel.
Bullets the Citadel. Is that you can keep going, it doesn't matter what they do to it. It's nice to have Gwenum because like sometimes you get removal on top of your deck and you need to cast that removal to keep going, and if just no one has any creatures, then you're kind of screwed. But yeah, the deck can go without Gwenum. As long as Gwenum attacked that turn, you're golden.
Yeah. So, just as a little context, this tournament is a local tournament based in Woodstock, Ontario, at Nerds Cafe. They basically do a tournament at least once a month and make up for any tournaments they miss. And they have an invitational at the end of the year in December. If you earn 10 points by making top cuts or top 16 over the year, you get invited to a 3K cash tournament with free entry. So my goal this weekend was to get qualified. I'm currently sitting out at 6 out of 10 points, and I wanted to just kind of get close with 3 tournaments left. So I took a round 1 win into a draw, and then another draw to get me 7 points, which locks me for top 10. Top 10 gets me 3 points, which puts me at 9, and then the next 2 tournaments, as long as I get top 16, that is all that matters to me. Top 16 will lock me for the Invitational. So that was my whole goal. I was playing mid-range Kenrith, same list as last week, and it's just creature/combo deck. Been doing pretty well with it. I came top 4, top 5 in the last 3 tournaments I played, so I can't really hate on that, but
No, it's real good. Been doing real good for you.
yeah. So up and coming tournaments that we have going on right now, we have, so November 8th we have Woodstock doing their second last tournament before the Invitational. We have
Woodstock will have 2 tournaments this month. So if anyone listening to this podcast is a lot about transferring from high power to CDH. So if you're interested in the Woodstock tournament, there's 2 this month, the 4th and the
22nd. I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
No
If you
worries.
come out, if you win one of them, or if you get enough points, you can make it to the invitational. So
Yeah,
you're
if
not
you
sure-
top 4 both of them, you make it, or if you win one of them.
Yeah.
And people are kind of generous a lot of the times in the top 4 with points. If some people who have already have the points, they don't need them, they'll give you the points
Yeah.
if you need it for the
Yeah.
invitational.
Big time.
That,
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah, because right now, so first place on the leaderboard overall gets a bye, but at this point, that's pretty much locked in. So it's more just like
Yeah.
getting people qualified. So November 8th, Woodstock, we have at Nerds Gaming. On November 16th, we have Orangeville, King of the Series, guaranteed
they
1K.
posted it. Okay.
Yeah, it was posted as of today, I think. We have on the 22nd Woodstock again, doing their last tournament to get qualified. Then we have on the 23rd, we have our own Kevin hosting a Forbes Hobbies tournament. And then on the 29th, we have a Two-Headed Giant EDH tournament at CNC Gamebridge.
And if you're looking for a bigger tournament in there, Frenzy at the Falls is the 29th, 30th.
To 28th, 30th.
28th to 30th? Yeah. That's the Friday.
Yep. Unfortunately, it's just across the border, which makes it a lot harder for us to go, but I think Andrew is planning on going, maybe?
I'm planning on it. We'll see when it gets closer. I have my hotel booked currently. I can cancel up to 24 hours in advance, so we'll see. I haven't registered for the event because I don't believe you can back out of that, but I don't know. Yeah,
Remind me to get you a shirt before you go.
yeah, if we could, yeah. I'm curious about that one.
Okay. So this week we wanted to talk about how to kind of get into CEDH. We're going to start off by basically just speaking about our story, how we entered the format, how we adapted into getting into competitive style of the tournaments. Who wants to start?
I started with, during COVID, just the tail end, AC. I went into Walmart with some friends. We were going to play Commander Night. I was reading through some of the decks, and I like sea monsters to begin with, like water sea monsters that fit me, and it seems simple on the box. Play land, draw a card, play an extra land. I'm like, okay, that's what you want to do. You want to draw cards, get lands. So I started with that, and I liked it, and I upgraded. I kept, I see lots of people bounce around different decks and stuff, and I just kept getting different improvements on that one. I talked to people, I kept playing, and I kept winning with it. Then I took it to my local competitive nights, and it kept winning there until some people I'm starting to lose to Thassa's Oracle and stuff, and EC's a little slow, just being 6 mana, and all the ramp, opposition agent hurt. And then that's when I tried Joyra, Weatherlight Captain. It was another cheap just because it was cheap. I thought, okay, we'll stick to 2 colors. I know 2 colors, not a whole lot of other ones. Cheap one to build. I got the cost reducers, and that really took off. I really started doing well with that. It had the same lessons as AC. It was kind of like Land Storm, Artifact Storm, very similar. Protect your combo. I ended up winning a Tropical Island off that. And that was my deck. That was my first tournament I went to.
Nice.
I got really lucky. Met some great people at the tournament. And then the bands hit Joyra. But by that point, I was already into it. So I guess my tips would be you really know your deck. Even if it's a suboptimal, not the best deck, you can make it work if you know it. That's what I did with AC. I know that thing really well. Stick with it. I'd stick to lower colors just because it's cheaper to make. I know a lot of bigger tournaments are you can use proxies and it's free, but a lot of people, you start off at your locals, right? That's where you're playing. Locals, you need the actual cards. I'd do a low color deck, a deck that you like. And last, I would recommend, it might be controversial, you don't need this, but a lot of the top tier decks, I always do it great, but have blue in them. And it lets you learn when to interact and allows you to interact not on the stack. So I would suggest that. Like if you're a hardcore Magda player, that's perfect. Like Magda's a great deck. I know people are amazing Magda. You don't need blue, but it just helps you on the stack and interact.
I think I'm gonna interject here. People are really gonna overlook the advice of start with a low color deck. But that's very good advice because, like, it is not. It's not really the most important skill you think of is like fetching the right lands at the right time or how to build a proper mana base. But when you don't have a proper mana base or you mess up a fetch, it really bites you and like it bites you in the ass. So like
Yeah.
easing your way into it with a 2-color deck and then a 3 and 4-color deck after.
It's just like you were saying, Kevin. It's huge because, like Timna Thrasios, really hard. There's so many colored pips and the mana dorks and stuff. I couldn't. It wasn't my thing. Even Blue Farm, a lot of people would say that is a good introductory deck because you're trying to get cards and then breach. But it's hard to get your fetches because you always want to get blue, and Timna is black, white, not blue. So it just throws you off. Like the more colors, and you can't pay attention to what other people are doing at the table, especially when you're new to the format. I want to really know my deck. I don't want to be thinking about fetch lands. If I'm just 2-color deck, I don't have to think about what I'm doing with my deck. I just know. And I can look around the table and figure out what people are doing, how far along their game plan they are. That's my biggest thing. With Joyra and Kidden I played after, and even AC, they're kind of simple to use decks. So it allowed me to not think about what I'm doing. It lets me just look at the table and try to accurate threat assessment. I struggle that when I play Blue Farm in a tournament. I'm more focused on fetching my own lands and what to do because it's too many options, and sometimes I don't pay attention to what the other people, your opponents, are doing at the table.
How did you get into the format, Kev?
Well, that's a good question. 17 or 2018. That was a long time ago. Jesus, I've been doing this a long time. I took a break in the middle, but I really wanted to experience Commander at like the highest level I could. I believe that's when Kess Dissident Mage came out, and that's when I decided that was the deck I was going to go in with. There were already posts and like builds for the deck and stuff. This is when CEDH was also much smaller than it is now. I think it was just like a page on Reddit, and there weren't really tournaments or anything. It was just playing as high power as I could with my friends. Especially no like local tournaments. We didn't have those for a long time. But I built this Kess deck. It was suboptimal. It's definitely way different than it was now. This is before Thoracle, before Underworld Breach, before a lot of the win cons we have today. Built it, but I was lucky in that the way I built it when I got the expensive pieces I could. I got the Wheel of Fortune, I got the Lion's Eye Diamond, I got the Mox Diamond, I got those like key pieces before they really jumped in price, before they jumped in price again. Most of it was trade-ins and credit, but those cards are worth a lot more now. Those 3 cards alone cover the entire value of that I put out for the deck, like 7-8 years ago. Took a break for a while. Came back in the tournament scene probably 2023, I think. Yeah, maybe late 2022, early 2023. Yeah.
I met up with you in 2024.
Yeah. So 2023 is when I started playing Nerds events at Woodstock. Because I had this CEDH deck. It was way outdated. I think I updated Kess, but I didn't change any of the commanders, and I fiddled around with different colors, different builds. I really resisted adding white for a while, but I did add it. I qualified for their tournament, their qualifier in 2023, and yeah, I kind of kept playing since then. So I kind of got into CEDH twice.
Fair enough. And so you started off with Kess, but I know you moved into when Thunder Junction came out into Stella Lee.
Yeah.
That was your second deck?
That was the first big shift off. I think that was the first big shift off of the generic Grixis or Grixis plus whatever color. I don't think I only ever added white. But it was my first big shift off of Kess and Blue Farm. I only actually made the shift because I wanted to play the Chimera tournament. There was no proxies. So I could... For me to fill out the proxies I had back then in Blue Farm, probably would have been about $800 or $900. But for probably a couple $100 is what it took to build Stella from the ground up, including the cards I already had in Blue Farm. So that's the reason I did that.
But you also ended up playing that deck throughout the 2024 too. Some good success up until the face-to-face 5K, which I believe is the last big tournament you played with the deck.
It is the last big tournament I played with the deck. I played it in Woodstock for... I can't remember if I switched back to Blue Farm to try and qualify or not.
I think in November you did.
I remember you on Stella, I believe.
I remember it up until October. So last year, the face-to-face tournament, Kevin and I both played that last year. It was
that was
the
our first big
weekend.
tournament together. Yeah.
So it was on a Saturday or a Sunday, I can't remember. And the Monday before is when the big bands hit. The big bad bands.
Oh yeah, that really changed things up. Oh my god.
It really changed the format. And I was on Kenriff at the time, and I was like, without Dockside, I can't really play Kenriff. I had to swap decks for the tournament, ended up playing Blue Farm, and then Kevin and I both topped for that tournament.
Yep, and that was another no proxy tournament too, which is
It was
notable.
face to face. Since they're Wizard Premium, they're pretty strict on no proxies.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's like a SCG for the American audience. Like SCG won't have proxies either.
I think we finished. Did we finish second and third?
Yes, I came second. You came third.
I?
I almost won, but I gambled for Force Will, and instead of like a pact negation, and discarded my only blue card from the gamble, which lost me the tournament because there was only one piece of counterspell for my Thoracle combo.
I
bad.
had so I remember that tournament. The opponent right before me was on Turbo list, probably Roxai.
Roxai was in first seat. I was in
think first
second.
seat,
You were third. I don't even remember what.
I think
the
I
first
went
seat was
before
on.
you. I'm pretty sure I went before you. I think you were sitting on my left because Roxai was in front of me. Because I remember them on their turn, they play the Necrodominance. They draw like 30 cards. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I guess I had a chance to go for it at that very point. And I decided not to because he just drawn 30 cards. And turns out he drew nothing, and I would have been able to go for it, and I would have won. Instead, I don't know if I took second or third, but it doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. It was a fun tournament for sure.
It was a blast.
That was the
That's
first
like
one.
the first time I really got to talk to you, and I think that's where we kind of started to click a lot. So I started the format early in 2024, around February, where my first deck built. I decided to proxy up and buy a Kinnan proxy deck, and alongside with a proxying up a deck I wanted to try for EDH, and I started grinding online tournaments. At the time, Chaos Discord was running multiple tournaments every single month, and I was just trying to grind up that. I quickly swapped to like Italian deck, then moving on to Atraxa. Atraxa is kind of like where I started getting very competitive, and that's where that ended up being around May of 2024, where I did my first Nerds tournament, where I met Mr. Andrew and Kevin technically for the first time, and that is kind of like what blew into me getting very into competitive tournaments. Mid 2024, I switched over from Atraxa because I was tired of trying to clone a Dockside into Kenriff. So I just added red to play Dockside.
My Joyer had so many Dockside and so many clones upon clones of artifacts. It was nuts.
Yeah, so instead of trying to clone Dockside, I just wanted to play Dockside. Switched to Kenriff, played that for 2 months before Dockside was banned. Then I played Blue Farm for a tournament and been swapping decks all year, trying to find what I wanted to do. I got some good tournament results with TNT, Atali, Kinnan again. I've ended up winning 3 dual lands at tournaments, and been kind of just grinding away. Been having a lot of fun playing, and I play a tournament almost every weekend right now. That I can. There's luckily this area actually has a decent amount of local scene.
Oh yeah.
You can probably find a tournament almost every weekend. This weekend is one of the exceptions, but There's every weekend of November. Otherwise, it is back-to-back tournaments. So having a good time, and I just like to play a lot. And this kind of transitions into, let's look at some resources for getting into CDH.
Yeah, at least these weren't around when I started, but for you guys, they probably were around or in their infancy at least. I don't know if you guys use them or not.
I wouldn't have even known about them. I just kind of went. Actually, how I got into it, I just went on. Somehow I got Discord for a local thing. They would talk when they were going to meet up for games at my LGS, and from there I found the Joyra Discord, and I talk. I'm still pretty talkative in there. I talked to the guy. We worked on the Decklist together on the primer for Joyra. I talked to a while ago. There was a guy in Germany who won an event C4, so I called him on Discord, and we were talking about Joyra. I'm still. I'd recommend Joyra to Weatherlight Captain to just about anyone starting off because it's low colored, and we've gotten some nice tools with the new Tezzeret Cruel Captain, Uthros Research Craft, Vivi.
And if you're not playing a proxy tournament, it should be pretty decent to build outside of like the expensive artifacts.
Yeah, which you need in just about any deck anyways, and the
Yeah.
counter spells, which you it's just staples. It's a really cheap. Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Well, if you don't want to play Joyra, or you don't know what deck you want to play, a great resource is learncdh.com. This is actually a newer website, came out earlier this year, I believe, ran by a legend of the format, Freedom Waffle, or Evan Pierce, with other contributors of being around. And basically this website just tells you how to get into CDH, what it is, why play it, what it means, and the philosophy around it. It has recommendations on different decks and tells you how, gives you like a briefing on how to play that deck, and a description of the deck you want to play. So Obnix is one of the best Rakdos color decks, for example, and it just basically goes over what is the game plan, what is the core strategies. It goes over combos. It tells you basically anything you need to know about the big recommended decks, and they have a lot of the decks posted. Like this is a great resource to learn. It'll tell you, there's my Kenrith deck. There's Atraxa. We got Blue Farm, I believe, at the top.
I saw Stella Lee
Kidden,
down there.
Yeah, I've never seen this
Lee.
website. Do they have Joyra on here? I'm gonna have to message Freedom Waffle if there's no Joyra.
Yeah, let's see.
There's no Joyra. I'm gonna.
There's so many different decks. I
Is
wouldn't
there
be
a search
shocked
at
if
the top of
Joyra's
the
on
page?
here.
Is not on there.
I don't see Joyra. You might need to
No.
go
I'm not surprised.
message
It was
Freedom Waffle.
removed
And
Get your pitchforks, Bender Morph. Let's go.
What's that?
Get your pitchforks. Let's go.
No, it got removed from DDB. The
Oh,
deck
did it?
list. Yeah, but, like, I'm not surprised. When the bans, it's kind of. But no,
yeah, it's not on there at all.
Well, what you got to
But,
do is
yeah.
just like top a tournament with it. Just
maybe
do good.
next
Just be
Woodstock.
good,
I'll
bro.
bring Joyra to next
Well,
Woodstock.
the next resource I would recommend, if you do want to pick up a deck and you're not sure whose list to go off of, CEDH Top 16 has every tournament breakdown based off a top deck and a bunch of other tournaments. So all the deck lists kind of get posted here. You can sort the commanders. Let's say you want to play Grixis. You can sort which Grixis commanders. Oh, I want to see a Norman Osborn. Well, there's this 68-player tournament that had a Norman Osborn in third place. You could click on that and quickly pull up the deck and see the cards, see the deck list, and start printing out your own proxies. I personally use CDH Top 16 almost every time I want to switch a new deck. If I want to try a deck and I know a person that I want to kind of base the deck off, this is kind of the easiest way to find the deck. So, for example, Sam Black is probably one of the biggest players.
He used to be a pro grinder, I'm pretty sure.
He was I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but he's pretty darn close to.
He's not a Hall of Famer, I don't think. But
He made Rog Thrash. I
It's
know
not.
that.
Just loaded, of course. And this, you could base your deck off of Sam Black's, one of the Honestly, one of the most famous Magic players in history. If you wanted to. So we've talked about resource for getting into CDH, the how to find a deck list. Now the next question is, where are the voices? Where can you find a person to talk to about the decks?
Well, I guess we could do a plug-in here. Another resource is our Discord, and we can definitely help you out. And
Yeah,
send you to
big time.
place.
Links in the
Messages on-
description.
Yeah,
If I remember this time.
put it in.
I forgot the
Thank
first time,
you.
that's all. It was the first time, okay? It was jitters.
Because
Well,
the
second
local
time.
tournament scene is growing huge. If you're interested, you want to come out, message us on Discord. We can.
Discord,
give you a
I'm on Twitter, Facebook. I started a Blue Sky just for Ignite. But yeah, there's lots of places you can reach out to us. And just like if you need to have a discussion, even if we're not available, we're hoping to grow the community to where there's always someone there who can have that conversation. Right now, we're still in the growing process, but the goal is someone is online, not necessarily one of us, but a member of the community is online to be able to help you out.
Yeah, and of course we're still new to all this, so the community is still growing, and we want to see more of you guys join. Other places that we can look at for the conversation is we got Reddit, and we got a newer website called AdNosGG. AdNosGG is a website created by Critical CDH, another content creation crew, and they basically wanted to make a forum page for CDH, trying to get the conversations and having like a nice place to have a bunch of different threads, different conversations going on, like an old-fashioned forums. I know I'm going into my 30s. I use these all the time when I was a teenager, and it kind of is just that little bit of nostalgia, playing that 1995 Magic the Gathering game. I like using this. I like roaming around, seeing other people's comments. They tend to talk about big tournaments, altars, bling, and just kind of going over some details, and they're constantly making changes, and they're very receptive to recommendations. Highly recommend looking them up. And then we also have r/CDH. This has conversations. It's a great resource. They have a Discord where they play a ton of games that are pickup games, and they use Caltrice and Spell Table, which we will talk about in a moment, to play those games, and you can always kind of find information. They will done tons of recommendations and different conversations going on at all times. Now, if you finally get into the format and you wanted to kind of put those skills to the test that you've practiced, learned, and got your deck ready for, we've mentioned this a few times already. The best way to find a tournament, in my opinion, is topdeck.gg. It lists all the tournaments near you. Literally, this is what I was reading off of when announcing the tournaments earlier in the video. And you can find any tournaments near you. You can find the big tournaments, the sponsor tournaments, feature tournaments. And they have more than just CDH on this website.
Oh, they have like a bunch of different, like, not even just Magic, like so many different games.
Yeah, like one of the biggest ones right now is Marvel Snap World Championships. Like, it is such a good tool that's made from people in the CDH community for the people of CDH, but also want to have it available for anybody. It's a tournament software, so stores can use this to host tournaments that are not sanctioned by Wizards, separate from their own software, and that gets around the rule of using playtest cards in your tournaments or proxies. So you're allowed to use playtest cards in non-sanctioned events. So it's super useful. I basically am on this at least a couple times a week just to check out what tournaments I want to play.
Yeah,
and it is honestly a great tool going forward.
You do need this, so it's a free account, and you'll need it for when you go to your tournament because you register there.
That's how you sign up for your tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll submit a deck list. Easiest way to do is just a Moxfield link. I'd recommend you do go through and make sure every card's exact. my first tournament, I got in a. I didn't know the difference for some of those. I think I had a wrong thing, but it doesn't matter. I didn't know how strict they were with it, and what else? They'll tell you your seating, right where your seat is, and the turn order, so you don't even roll a dice. Nothing like that. They'll tell you right where the order is and who you're playing. It's kind of nice.
Very convenient. It tracks standings and everything in the tournament. It's your hub for a tournament. That's where you check everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to get some practice in, the most common tool to find games online is Spelltable. Spelltable is a webcam magic tool. Basically has, you've probably seen it in CEDH gameplay. It's 4 cameras laid out in a grid, and you has a life counter, has a timer, and you just basically and Andrew is showing off his little setup there.
My setup's not quite as intricate as that, so I won't show it off.
You can find games right on Spelltable, or there are a few other Discords and stuff that we might mention a little later.
Look at that one right there, CDH, all are welcome. That's a great one to have right at. We're explaining this.
Chill, proxy friendly.
Yeah.
No Mox is a Mox field thing people use instead of like printing off decks.
CEDH on a Monday night at the bottom left there.
Next resource we want to talk about is Moxfield. This is the most common place to build a deck and store your deck list. I think all 3 of us use this on a regular basis. I'm just showing off my Kenrith deck here. You can kind of easily see which cards are in a deck, change their versions, see what your collection looks like, and advance your deck to change it week by week if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have a good sorting tool for all your decks. If you, like me, want to play a lot of decks over the last couple years, you could start making folders for different versions and start collecting, start building, start brewing. I highly recommend, once you find a deck, make it your own. This is a deck list from my friend that I imported, so you can import somebody else's deck list to your decks and rebrand it to your way for sure.
Jeez, I don't know all half that stuff on Moxfield. I didn't even know about folders.
We don't have like 80 decks.
No.
I have like maybe 20. Still very useful tool, absolutely.
Well, I also like making different versions of the same decks. Like, this is Kenrith, this is Kenrith. I have 2 Kenriths in here. I have other Kenriths lower. And that's just because I like different versions. Sometimes I have a mid-range version and a turbo version right now. I was looking at a heavy creature combo version, or just kind of have like a different tournament list. So if I'm like working on a deck list, I would just duplicate that deck, post it for that tournament, and then I could still modify the list going forward for other tournaments.
We should link our Moxfield accounts to our Discord so people can look at it.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. Yeah,
not a bad idea. I haven't published a lot of mine, so I would have to go in and publish them, but that's fair.
I think mine are all, whatever the default is, they're all published. Because they have to, like when I post it for a tournament, they have to be able to look at it, so mine are all the default, like anyone can view it.
You don't need to list in order to link, by the way.
Mine are listed because I have like the Joyra one that I'd send people to all the time, like if they're curious.
Yeah. So once you have a deck, once you've decided on a deck you want to play, a very common way to make really good proxies is you can go to NPC autofill. This will let you download pictures of your cards that you want to play. So let's just say I want to grab my Kenrith list. I would just export to Moto, go to fill, and just...
Actually, I've never used that one. I've used MTG Print. You have?
I think that's what I use too. Yeah.
So this is more of a trying to get art and then buying the.
So this is like an actual high proxies one. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just use like MTG Print and go to Staples, and it costs me $7 to print a deck.
That's what I've done. I've always do that exact same thing, but this is actually better. My buddy did it. I didn't know how to do the thing. He did it. I gave him the cards I wanted, and you can like pick your own custom art and get it shipped from China. I'd go in on an order if you guys want to go in on it, split the cost.
I don't really have anything to proxy right now. I just for $6 and I can run down the street is easier than ordering from China for me. But this is This is good if you want to like have actual cardboard.
It's actual one. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if I've showed you. You can pick the back like Yu-Gi-Oh back like that. Yeah.
So you could download and print your proxies off of the MPC Phil. This is probably one of the common ways to kind of do that. It's how I built my first deck. But there's a bunch of different websites. Andrew, you said you use
MTG Print.
MTG Print.
And you can, like Kevin was like you can get it printed at Staples, and it's like 9 cents or whatever it is per. It's like a quarter a page or something.
A lot of places want you to do color proxies. It normally costs me like $7 to $10 depending on how many proxies I need for a full deck.
Yeah, and you just go with a USB deck. With all the.
You can even just email, like you can. So
email.
I like at work. I'll just like at the end of the day, generate the list, check everything, make sure they're the card versions I want. I'll email myself the PDF, or I'll download the PDF, and then when you get there, you just at Staples anyway, you just email their service, and it gives you a code to put in, and that's how it pulls out the email you sent, the attachments you sent. It's real easy.
Really easy. It's less than.
And they got people there to help you if you don't know how to do it.
Yeah. You just take your phone to the thing. It's less than $1. It might be 50 cents. I don't even think it's 50 cents a page for color. So. And there's 9 sheets, not like 9 cards fit on a page.
Yeah, and I believe you could also at Staples print them on cardstock too, right?
Yeah, that would cost a lot more, I think.
It would cost a bit more, but
they would have to
if you wanted like good quality.
Yeah. If you want good quality, I'm sure they could do it.
I don't know if it's the same like weight and everything. Like it's specific card stock, so I don't know. I'm sure somewhere, but I've never seen someone do that. I don't know. Yeah.
All my proxies are that are professionally done. I just buy them on makeplayingcards.com. So you can make a literal deck of custom cards and have them printed out with the arts that you upload, with custom backs and stuff like that. They're pretty decent quality. You could also foil them. So that's how you find those foil proxies that people play dual lands on.
Huh.
So that's a really good way to kind of just get a bunch of them. The more you buy, the cheaper it is. But I built 2 decks for 57 Canadian. It'll just take a couple weeks to go get, but they are cardstock proxies, very decent. You've both played with a couple of my cardstock proxies in the past or seen them.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, I've got the same ones from there. They're a lot better than Staples. Just to show some of the cards here, if anyone's interested, just going back to this. So this is one of the cardstocks printed. Force of Negation, actual card, Yu-Gi-Oh back I picked for mine, like Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago. I've got the real one, Hollowed Fountain here, real. And then this is a deck I've just played this weekend in the tournament. And then I've got my cheapest card, Into the Flood Maw, just happens to be proxy with a land on the back, right, from Staples. So there's the 3 different real cards, proxies from MPC Phil and from MTG Print. You could.
So the last piece of this segment, we just wanted to talk about some good resources on playing your first tournament or playing games. And we would highly recommend, and they're not a sponsor, we have Tough Mulligans. They host a free tournament every couple months. Free to enter, structured tournament on Spell Table. And it's basically a good... Ender has taken down a bunch of tournaments. Do you want to speak on it there, Andrew?
Yeah, just one thing I wanted to add. Almost every tournament we go to is 100% proxy friendly. So the format's very proxy friendly. You don't have to spend money. Some people like to upgrade their decks to real cards later, but if you're not sure about a deck, just proxy the heck of it, print it out from Staples, play test it. You might decide you don't like that deck, and you can just print off a different one. Definitely, we're a very proxy friendly format.
Yeah, it's super easy to get into. You could build 100 decks and spend barely any money on them and just keep on testing decks on spell table. A good place to kind of play your first tournament, like I said, is Tough Mulligans. But if you wanted to kind of start off playing as you wish, because committing a full day to a tournament is really tough sometimes. We all have lives. We can all understand that. Some less lives than others, but whenever you have time, you can hop on spell table. Or if you wanted to find a high-level competitive games, we would recommend some friends at Critical EDH. They host a league every single month. This month, there's a ton of players. Yeah, Critical EDH has over 500 individual people in their league. It is fairly cheap to join. It's about $7-ish a month, give or take, Canadian in my case. And there's other options through other content creators. And then they've hosted, I think they were at, they've hit 2,700 pods this month. 27 individual games played so far this month. That is an insane number. To kind of put that into perspective, like you're almost guaranteed to find a game in that Discord anytime you join.
Oh yeah, and you don't even, I think, have to play online games for that. You can, like, if us four meet in person and want to grind out a couple league games, we're allowed to play league games just in person.
Yeah, as long as we are all entered into the league, they have no problem with that. I know
Big
people
time.
at the Fishbowl last weekend were playing in LobbyCon. Just grinding league games, just trying to get people in, trying to earn top standing. I'm not doing so well this month just because, again, testing out some decks, testing out different cards.
I use this as a way to test decks too. It's very convenient.
Yeah, and it's highly competitive. Like,
High
there's a
skill
lot
level,
of good players in this league. Like, some of the top players in the world fight on this league. Max D, we have a bunch of other players that I can't remember who people's names.
Kai is there.
Kai is a good one, seen on Play to Win a few times. Pro Shaka has done well in previous tournaments, winning the Tough Mulligans 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And just highly competitive, lots of fun. Highly recommend just jamming games. It's been a good time for everybody.
Yeah. And I think the quickest way to find like free lower skill level, just because there's no barrier to entry, but the CEDH has a Discord, and they you can just go / looking for games. There it is. Yeah, so that's the one you can use cockatrice or webcam games. And webcam, they also allow you to stream from, I think Moxfield has a playtest thing you can use, a playtest function. But that's, I don't want to say lower quality because you're still like playing against CDH decks for the most part, but it is, because there's no barrier to entry and anyone can play, it is a little more beginner friendly, especially if you're, there you go. But yeah. Those are some options. Those are basically the three main ways we play games.
Yeah, like, I've played almost 200 games in the last 2 years in tournament formats, and a lot more if you include league games and just spell table games. Been a lot of fun. Like, all I want to do right now is play CEDH and one other game that I have a hobby in. It's just basically all my time right now. But that basically wraps up some resources and what we would do. Everything is going to be linked in the comments. I'll send this all to Kevin to post. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to in our Discord or in any of the other resources in the description.
That'll wrap getting into CDH Part 1. There's probably going to be a couple other parts we do. We're not do it next episode, but we'll space it out a bit. But yeah. I think it's time for me to get a little upset, Andrew.
Oh, overreaction.
Yeah.
All right.
How upset can you make me today?
How upset? Okay. Well, let's just start with the big one. With the popularity of Ristic and Mystic, win cons like Fast as Oracle and Breach, making you need counter magic. There's endurance is there, but that's one specific case. If you enter a tournament not playing blue, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage.
So there's two. Obviously, there's two sides of this coin, right? Not playing blue and playing blue. I have done very well not playing blue. I have won some big events or done well at big events playing Atali. A low interaction build, just jamming games. I would argue knowing your deck and knowing the format and knowing other people's decks are more important than what colors you bring.
Well, I agree with that, especially with Atali doing really well lately and the whole rise of semi-blue, which we lost to in their last tournament. I was a semi-blue player.
Yeah.
No interaction, just jam. What was it, his turn 3, our turn 2? No, you started. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I think blue is the strongest color by far in CDH, and it is a great color to kind of start learning what colors you want to play, because 90% of the decks you'll face will have blue in them. They will have the same 30 blue cards in them. Highly recommend getting into blue if you can, but you don't need to play blue. And I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage, but it is statistically better to play blue.
Yeah, I'm just checking out the CEDH metagame breakdown on EDH Top 16, recently highlighted by our own Joseph Hines. And if you click on blue, nothing, like only 2 mono blue decks come up, but then the more you add colors, the more decks come up. Blue is the most popular color in CDH, and that's for a reason, because it's very frickin' good.
Well, let's take a look at this real quickly. Let me pop this back on screen. CDH Top 16 recently added a new tab called Staples, going over the most played cards in CDH. The first 10 cards, the first dual lands, are literally blue dual lands. Like those 3 first dual lands are all blue before you get your first black one, because of Timna Krom plays Esper.
Any Timna deck, and Timna's a popular commander.
Yeah. Any Timna deck, Esper decks, very hard. You hardly ever get Orzhov. 5 color decks will play Scrubland. So, like, those are the second most common. But, like, looking at the top 12 cards, 5 of them are blue. 3 of them are dual lands that are blue. Like, it's by far the most popular color.
And I think that's the case because interacting on the stack is the most important spot to interact with in CDH. The way you interact on the stack is by having cards in hand. Not a lot of stuff on the board can affect the stack. So having your Ristic and Mystic, having your concise win cons, and the most popular win con is Thoracle and the Brain Freeze for Underworld Breach. There's, like, the reason they're popular is because they're concise, they're consistent, and the machine has salt, not CDH. Decks come up all the time. But, like, blue is the most important color in CDH. If I'm playing any deck and I go into a pod without more blue in it, I immediately know I can probably jam as early as I want to. I don't have to worry about interaction. If I'm keeping a hand and I'm debating a keep, if I'm in 3rd seat, I don't need to worry about seats 1 and 2 having a Ristic or a Mystic and completely, like, punishing me for my game plan. Blue is the most powerful card in CDH, or powerful color in CDH.
The only one that even comes close would be black, and only because they have very good tutors like Vampiric Tutor and Demonic Tutor.
Oh, I was going to get down to, like, the essence of the question. Are you making a mistake not playing blue?
A disadvantage if you're not
disadvantage
playing blue in a tournament.
Technically, you have a disadvantage because you can't worry about other people's game plans when you're not playing blue.
In a broader sense, yes, but in a, like, depending on the meta and your local meta, If you find your metas very susceptible to a turbo strategy, you might be better off just playing like a Tali that can consistently turn to cast a Tali, or Gwenum that can consistently turn to cast Gwenum, pray there's no removal, and then just win the game. Interaction in some decks, interaction is good, but in some decks it waters down the strategy, absolutely. And if your strategy isn't doesn't evolve around interacting, then there's definitely corner cases where you're not at a disadvantage if you're playing more into your strategy.
Would you sleeve up a deck currently and go to a tournament without blue in it?
Kevin literally did that last weekend.
Oh yeah, you just did. No, you have as well.
Yeah,
okay.
I played Atali throughout the last couple of months.
It is notable. There's a couple notable things about me sleeving on Gwenum. I'm already qualified for the end of year tournament, and I don't need any more points. I can't reach the threshold to get to the buy anymore. So I have basically nothing to play for except to practice and have fun. The other thing is, during the tournament, I definitely felt like I was missing out on interaction. Turbo's not normally my playstyle, so that's more of an adjustment I need to make if I want to play more Turbo. But it was definitely felt like I was missing out on the interactive bit of Magic. That whether I wanted to clear the board or destroy something else that's a problem, or just bounce it so I can have a window to go. Not playing blue meant I didn't have those windows, that extra window to go in.
Hey guys, it's official. The most played commander in the format is Lotho.
That's what that means. That's how statistics work.
That's how statistics work, right?
That's how statistics work.
It is the first legal legendary permanent.
Numbers still work.
Numbers still work.
Was it you I was playing against when I did that, Andrew? It was a Kinnan player, and it was at Woodstock, and they're on 6 mana, and I tell the table, like, we need to be careful because when this person gets to 7, they're going to be able to flip. And he's like, I'm not going to get to 7. I'm like, you need to play 1 land. He's like, yeah, but I'm not going to do that. I'm like, 6? What comes before 6? Or, no, what did I say? 7 comes after 6, right? Like, math still works. Math is still math. And the table was howling. It was so funny.
I would have remembered that. No.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I do that now when I'm against a Kinnan player almost every time. Actually, you just scrolled past something notable. Born Upon the Wind in blue. It doesn't say play in all blue decks. You can click on it. It might pull up the card. Yeah.
Oh, it pulls up the Scryfall.
Yeah, that's very convenient. Born Upon the Wind is one major tool that blue has over other colors. Now you can play flash enablers in your land base. There's a couple among the different colors, and one of them's colorless. But being able to just have access to a flash enabler that draws you a card, very useful for going over top of someone else's win. That's an excellent strategy to win, just because at that point you know you're at most fighting with one person who has interaction.
Unless, like my previous interaction, overreaction, you're in white, blue and white. Then with Grand Abolisher effects, I don't personally do it, but yeah, I know most people do.
Well, it's also official, guys. The best color in the format to play is green, because the most played basic land is the forest.
I'm gonna say no.
I think we all agree with that. It's a good color right now.
There's a lot of creature turbo strategies out there, absolutely.
I'm just making fun because I was like, I wonder. It makes sense that green is the forest is the most played basic lands, because they tend to care about their basic lands and not play Tainted Pact.
Also, exactly, Tainted Pact lowers the amount of basics you want to play by a lot. Yeah. Do we have another question for us? Or are you still going to try and make me mad?
No, this is good. This is more of a thought. So there's this card, I don't know if you've heard of it, Seize the Spotlight.
Seize the Spotlight.
I'll read it out here.
Sounds like a red card.
It's a red card, that's right. 2 colorless
2 and a red.
Sorcery.
Sorcery makes sense.
Each opponent chooses Fame or Fortune. For each player who chose Fame, gain control of a creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures and they gain haste until end of turn. For each player who chooses Fortune, you draw a card and create a treasure token.
Okay.
So 3-player game, 3 mana, draw 3, create 3 treasure tokens, unless they give you a creature that gains haste. Caesar Spotlight is an underutilized card in red and should make an appearance in more red decks, especially if they have sack outlets. I'm thinking Dargo card, any deck with a sack outlet. And I've even thought about it in Blue Farm. As card draw and treasure goes equal.
Okay.
You might take someone's Timna, right? And then just get some more cards if they don't give you that. Suicide it into it, negotiate. Get someone's Kinning, and now your treasure's tapped for more. What do you guys think about Seize the Spotlight?
I think it's good in a Dargo deck. Being able to, because most of the time, your opponents are going to give you a creature that does not matter because it gets returned to them at the end of the turn. Dargo has that advantage of its sacks that can be able to
noteworthy,
sack that creature.
you choose the creature. For each player chose like gain control of a creature that player controls. So you make that choice, not the player giving the creature.
Yeah, but they probably, it's for one turn, like they typically don't care.
But if you get something and then it gains haste, so you suicide it into some other creature,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Let someone else,
But if they also don't have creatures, they could still choose Fame. And
Yes, they can, yeah.
It's basically doesn't. I don't think this deck, card does anything unless you play a sack outlet like Dargo. People were a lot more enticed to give you a creature if you're just going to kill it by playing your Dargo.
Yeah, this is probably at its best in a deck that has either a lot of sacrifice outlets or or like one in the command zone like a Dargo.
Yeah.
You're not. You are right. There will be the potential to steal someone's thing and swing it into someone who's going to block. But if you're having that conversation ahead of time, then they're going to know, and they might just give you a card anyway.
Feats Bowmasters.
It does feed Bowmasters. It.
Which is another. It's an interesting politicking
I
tool,
think
right?
that would also be good if you want to in a non-white deck you can steal Dranith or Grand Abolisher or like the silent stuff.
If they let you, they can just give you a card and a treasure,
They can,
which
That's
is
the
like
thing.
it's still like pretty good for you. But they're not just going to give you a win con. If I have a Grand Abolisher, you're always getting a card and treasure. I'm never giving you a Grand Abolisher that I can't interact with.
I've been playing this in a Malcolm Dargo deck. It's like Secret Joyer in there with artifacts and Urza and everything. It's really good.
Okay.
There's a lot of sack outlets in that. So this is a great overperforming card in that. That's what gave me the idea.
Yeah, and a specific list is going to be good.
Yeah.
Generally, you can gauge how the top end of a card based on who makes the decision. Because if you're giving your opponent a decision, which is kind of the negative of some of these vote cards, that isn't technically a vote, but it's basically a vote. The negative of some of these is that your opponent's always going to do what's least punishing for them, so you're always going to be at the floor of that card.
Yes. That's a great analysis. Okay, so you two wouldn't run it then.
No,
Unless I had
I'm playing Dargo.
a very dedicated list, I would run it. I wouldn't run it in Blue Farm.
If my commander says sacrifice a permanent as it enters, I'll play this card.
I am going to go out on a limb. I don't think that would be a top 1,000 card in Blue Farm.
Yeah.
No offense. I know you said you might run it in Blue Farm. I wouldn't touch that.
I think you just didn't think it through.
You would have to pay me to run that card. If you paid for my entry and another $30 on top of that, I would put that on my Blue Farm list just to try it. But I'm not doing it just for fun. I'm being a dick right now, and I'm sorry.
I think I'd do that if it's whenever you tutor, it's your number one tutor target to truly test the card out.
It's got to make sense to tutor for that. I'm not going to tutor for that turn one, right? But
you should tutor for it when nobody has a creature, and they will all say creature.
3 mana, draw 3, or 3 mana, draw 4. Make
No,
4
3 mana
treasures.
do nothing. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, because they won't give you. Yeah. Maybe that's why I have such a bad record in the league.
All right. I was thinking about what a Ristic ban might mean for the format after the news that we were discussing last week. What I came up with was banning Ristic would make Blue Farm better. It would also make any deck without card advantage in the command zone much worse. So if your deck doesn't have card advantage in the command zone, you're getting an indirect nerf. If you're in blue, I should say, you're getting nerfed. So banning Ristic would make Blue Farm better. it would make a deck like Rogsai worse. I might make it better because it's turbo. But generally, you want if you're in blue, you want card advantage in the command zone if Ristic gets banned.
Yeah. I think it does make
pretty
blue
sound.
farm.
Yeah. If it would hurt it initially, but when Decklist adjusted and put in more card advantage elsewhere, I think it would be fine. Having access to 4 colors gives you access to like any card advantage you want almost. And the big thing is the turbo lists would benefit the most, and I'm not sure how much having the card advantage in your command zone balances out the turbo lists not having to contend with Ristic Study.
Yeah, like like I said, I played Otali. Ristic being banned, facing a blue farm, I'm just going jam 100% of the time.
Yeah, it helps Otali out. So in that case, like relative to the other decks, blue farm's going to get a little worse losing Ristic. It's also going to get better. Yeah.
So I don't think it gets worse. I think it kind of stays the same, but turbo gets better.
Yeah.
Well, any blue deck gets worse that runs Ristic.
Sure,
because it's lost
but
its
turbo just gets better. I think the bar
better.
stays the same, but it helps the other decks that are facing it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that analysis. All right. So who wants to go watch the Jays win Game 3 of the World Series?
This has been Ignite CDH. Welcome to the bonfire. Again, my name is Joseph. That's Kevin. That's Andrew, and we're going to sign off for this week. See you next time.
Yeah, I think they can do all right. They got they showed in Game 1 they can definitely do it. It's going to be a close series, I think. LA being at home for this game, it probably gives them an advantage. Oh, like they're gonna come hyped out for their crowd, like in Game 1 especially.
Yeah. I think we can just survive the first couple innings.
Yeah, I think we take at least one and take it back for Game 6.
Yeah.
I do think it's gonna be a long series though. Like really the only difference in Game 3. Both pitchers were fantastic. It just came down to LA capitalized on their opportunities a little bit better. The Jays had opportunities. The bases loaded a couple times. Didn't get it done. But that's what it is.
I played Joyra a couple times today. Went back. I 3 wins. 3 games, 3 wins. It felt nice
Nice.
Just on small table, but
Oh, it still counts. Hey, Joe.
yeah.
Yeah. How's your weekend, Joe?
It was fine, not too bad. I got a top 10, 5th place is good enough for me. I just need 1 point now, so
Yeah. You got 2 tournaments to get top 16 now, so that's not bad at all.
yeah. Don't. I wouldn't recommend asking me about the weekend. Don't remember any of it at all. I remember almost no game. We've all been on one except for Andrew. This is the first time he's ever been on.
3-game tournament losing streak. Chimera, I got 5th, lost out on breakers.
I mean, you still finished 5th, so it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
His losing streak is
Andrew.
winning.
First of all, you're not making top 4 cuts are not like a losing streak here. Okay, top 4 cuts are extremely hard to make. Like, statistically speaking, like, your winning streak is making top 16, top 10 cuts in a 32-player tournament.
But I mean, they're smaller tournaments. They're like 19 people or something. Like,
Yeah, but winning two games of CEDH is difficult.
got 7 tournament wins. Oh yeah, tough mulligans. I've top 4 every top mulligans I've played.
Show off.
No, not everyone. No, the first one with Joyra, I didn't top 4. I got top 16. Joyra, I did.
I still made top 16. I can't complain about that.
Yeah.
Pretty good about top.
Yeah, it's easy top 16. It's that top 16 game you can lose. Like, it's just so random. with top
And it was
16.
that was where it just like got turned 2 by a turbo deck, and well, that's what they do.